I think a lot of us think that Christianity is about doing all the righteous stuff you hate and avoiding all the sin that you love. But that is actually not what God wills for us. There's something called Christian hedonism. Hedonism by itself is a word that means increasing pleasure in your life and decreasing pain, and calculating every decision based upon how it feels and what is good and expedient and enjoyable for yourself. Christian hedonism is something very different. It is basically the recognition that the most satisfied a human can ever be is when their heart has been so enlarged and so healed that the only thing that brings them any level of contentment is the Lord, and at that moment their heart will be more content than it ever has been. When you first get saved, your heart is about this big. Okay? What I mean by your heart is the things that satisfy you, your desires, the things that make you content is tiny. This is why millions of Americans will be watching football and drinking beers today, and they will be content in it because their heart is scarred and shriveled and frozen by sin. They think Christ is funny because their heart is so small that it wouldn't recognize the goodness of Christ even if Christ was thrust before them. But what God does when he saves you is he gives you a new heart. And now your heart is healed and enlarged to the point where, man, the sin that used to entertain you, the club that used to entertain your tiny broken heart, now it's just not really hitting. It just doesn't really do anything for me. But man, when I read the Bible and when I hear God's word and when I serve the poor and obey the Lord and when I think on things of the gospel, I'm so content. And progressively, God will enlarge your heart and heal you to the point where that sin that you're cordoning off no longer tickles you the way it used to. It doesn't do for you what it used to. So what am I saying? You must pray for a new heart. Lord, give me a heart that loves the light. Give me a heart that doesn't desire that any part of me be left in the darkness, to revel in sin and to corrupt and to rot and to get worse and worse and worse. No, I don't want that for myself. My heart is larger than that and more healed than that. My heart resembles God's heart more and more and more every single year. And I hate sin more and more and more, the same way Christ perfectly hated sin and perfectly hates sin in heaven.